Hello, greetings. Um, it's been a bit since I did a video. My last video, I pretty much said I'm done with the studying of theology, biblical studies. Looking at other stuff, kinda now. My focus is on my training. In this video, just giving kind of a history of to hell and back. How I implement chronic violence and anger. But yeah, to hell and back. I mean, there's a lot of people that have been through that. Have been through shit, but I'm just gonna give some things in a nutshell. Just so a lot of people can know where I'm coming from, as they really don't know what the fuck's going on. Just starting off with childhood. From a very early age, I took beatings like most kids. The old man, I mean, he was into bodybuilding. I mean, he was my height, 5'10", 230. You know, just a big brute. Me being as a kid, and he would beat me so bad I'd piss my pants, and then I thought he was done. He would come back in the room to finish the job, and I was so young. After my parents would split up, he would move out so much. My mom would take over. She would use weapons, of course. But as you hit 11, 12, you can kind of outpower your mother to defend yourself. So those beatings from an early age, and then being picked on in elementary school from the get-go. On the rich side of town, the west side, we lived on the poor part of the west side, and so I was picked on quite a bit, and I developed, because of the home, getting the shit beat out of me at school, and going home to get the shit beat out of me. I toughened up very quickly, and I became a very decent fighter from an early age, and people could see that. People could recognize that. I remember our first day of junior high. We had our lockers and setting up our lockers, and guys knew. Guys were talking. Who's this guy? Who's this and this? Guys, I went to elementary. A.G. Bailey said, Joel can fucking go, and that's the way it was. I mean, I got in a few there as well, but I was also molested repeatedly at an early age. Elementary, I was kicked out of elementary from primary to grade 6. I just jotted a few things down because I have so much fucking, probably 30 plus suspensions. That's just in elementary, 30 to 40 suspensions. Then in junior high, I had probably 15. And I'm not talking out school, I'm talking in school as well, in school suspension. So probably 30 to 40, 50 suspensions from grade primary to grade 9, right? Then I failed grade 9. Then I failed it again. They bumped me up. And I got expelled from the glass school. Then I got expelled from OPP. So I wasn't allowed in any high school in the county. I have a grade 10 education, so I was expelled from both high schools. So yeah, I mean, that's just the way it was. But I mean, from an early age, I learned how to how to block stuff out, block trauma out, block it out. I learned how to bury that shit. It didn't do me too good later in the years, where I actually, we'll get to that. I died twice actually did die. Hard. Everything stopped. They revived me into a coma twice within 4.5 years. I was told the last time it was 4.5 years. The doctors told me. But we'll get to that. But yeah, it's a little wonder. I was a full-blown alcoholic by the age of 17. You know, I mean, full-blown alcoholic. Uh, um, I experienced pancreatitis or pancreatitis 4 times. 4 times by the time I was 32 because of drinking, chronic drinking. At my worst, I could drink a 40-ouncer in one sitting, in one night. That was my worst. And if people don't know are familiar with drinking, 40-ouncer, an ounce is a shot. So that's 40 shots. That's not a quart. That's the step up from a quart. That's 1.1 liters. You know. So pancreatitis 4 times by the age of 32, and my second suicide overdose on quetiapine, Seroquel, which is I used at first for sleeping, and so yeah. So yeah, I mean, when I came out of my 4th time with pancreatitis, and they never seen anything like it. I mean, they said your pancreas can rupture, you can get pancreatic cancer, this, and this, and then 2 weeks later, I'm in there on my first suicide attempt, my self OD, and they revived me into a coma. And then they said, we got to get this guy checked out, you know. And so they sent me to 2 shrinks because you need 2 fucking shrinks to diagnose you. And they diagnosed me with bipolar. And I'm like, hey, now I know why some things make sense in my life. Why I acted the way I did and things like that. And we have a family history, a long family history of mental illness and alcoholism. Bipolar, depression, and alcoholism. It's rampant on my dad's side of the family. So, then I find out I have bipolar. Then this past year, I was in there again. The second time I died, and my buddy Doug, who lived, who actually moved across the hall from me from the other building. Seeing me on the stretcher, he thought it was fucked. He said, "You're white, and you know, you're fucked." So I died twice. I fucking died twice, and I'm still here. I'm still kicking. That's how retarded I am. You're gonna have to put a bullet in my head. Yeah, I mean, the fighting, even from 18, when my first assault charge was at 18. My mom's boyfriend choked my sister, who was 3 at the time. I'm 37 now, so this is, going back 19 years or 18 years, whatever. And I said to Mom, when I get home from work, he's fucking getting it, right? And headbutted his face, and that was my first assault. But many fights since then. I have a scar here on my head. I don't know if you can see it. Here. 6 staples put in there because of one of my many fights with my uncle, who's passed 3 years ago, who was like a big brother to me. We did 16, 17 years of drinking together. I was getting the better of him one night, and he had to he couldn't remember what it was, the claw part of a hammer to the head or a wrench. And that was the first time I tried to take my life because I was drunk. I had the head blow from the hammer or whatever because I kept coming on strong, he said. I kept coming on strong. And he could go like a fucker. He had 19 assault charges, 9 calls in bodily harm. but I kept coming on too strong for him, and he had no choice, I guess, and he used the hammer or whatever, so yeah, that's where I got that scar there. Um, but yeah, and I found my father dead to suicide 4 years ago, which fucked me up. I mean, it was the worst suicide in Pictou County history, pretty much. Than what the cops are saying. As he decapitated his own head. Decapitated his own head. He lived in the next building from me, and I seen he was slipping for a couple weeks, right? He was slipping real bad, hallucinating, seeing angels in the bathtub type of deal. This is some wild stuff. And he made me swear I wouldn't tell my sister Sarah, who he was very close with, like me, or anyone. He didn't. If he seen cops, he probably. I was scared what he would do if he seen cops or anything. Because to get admitted. So for 2 weeks, I kept his secret, and he was there the first time that I went to take my life, because I was living with him. Took a bunch of Seroquel, downed it with my bottle of J&B, whatever I had left in the J&B bottle, after I got into it with my uncle, and he hammered me. He called, and the cops came, the ambulance grabbed me from the kitchen, revived me, all that shit. But I wasn't there for him. He decapitated his own head. Yeah, and I found him in that state, and it pretty much ruined me. I mean, with everything, all the trauma, bipolar, all of it. I mean, that fucked me up for about 5-6 months. I had night terrors where I would wake up just in a cold sweat, vibrating, needing to take my Benzos, my nerve pills, and smoke a bit of weed. But those days are over, thank God. Finding your father, who's your best friend, you know, who's like a hero to me. He initially taught me about bodybuilding. He was a historian on bodybuilding, a historian, and he showed me the basics of training, of studying scripture. Introduced me to the scripture. We're both Toronto Maple Leaf fans. We love to watch the hockey games together and have a drink and a puff. Yeah, that just kind of sent me over the edge a little more than, yeah. But yeah, drug-wise, IV coke use. Even recently, um, I like to shoot up cocaine. I fell off the wagon 4 years of not drinking about a week and a half ago. And then getting back into shooting up and even getting it in the neck again, shooting coke in the neck so it hits you. You hit it in the leg, it slowly comes up, hit it in the arm, hit it in the neck. Yeah, so it's this is just it. But I was challenged by a guy who's supposedly the toughest guy to walk the streets in New Glasgow. The toughest guy to walk the streets in New Glasgow. A buddy told me, and I tore his fucking head off. Right? It was my first time in a couple years ago, or a year and a half ago. First time in years smoking crack. The girl was selling out of my apartment. I was in my room changing. I was, smoking, and it's been a long time since I smoked. I prefer to do it that way, but I was just smoking. They were giving me a puffs for selling it out of my place, and this guy came in. I heard him say something, rushed out, bammo, and then he thinks He thinks nothing of it, and I confronted him the other day. Went right to the door, went inside. Nothing. Who's gonna say anything to you? People. It takes a big man to say something to your face. Then I got another guy. He says he's gonna gut me. Well, today what I'm gonna do is take a little cue card, put it under the crack den's door, because it's a crack den, because I can't take 5 guys at once. Meet me here. Meet me in the backwoods going to Sobeys. Meet me in the trails going to Sobeys. Meet me here or come out. Well, I'm facing jail time right now. I go for my 4th German on the 15th, a couple days, but I have sentencing in a month. So I don't really want to get in a fight on the street, the main street, because this is on one of the main streets. But yeah, I'm going to slip it under the door. Hey, Alistair, let's go meet in the woods. Not when you're mouthy when fucking 5 other guys are there to fucking back you up. I'm trying to. I've been staying away from the fighting in that, but when I'm getting challenged, I won't back down. When I'm putting my anger into, and as the best bodybuilder, who's my brother-in-law in the county, hands down, as he said before, he trained with so many guys with over the years, and he said, I'm the most intense guy, or the second most intense guy, or the first most intense guy he's ever trained with, at a 50, 60 plus guys. You know, he trained half his life. Because I put that anger and violence into the fucking weights, into the workouts. We don't just do the weight, oh, I can't do anymore. No, he's helping me. Doing force reps. Picking the weight up, I fight it on that, boom. Help him with the weight. Then we drop the weight in half and I keep going. This is high intensity training. This is where I release violence and anger to the point where we see stars, you know, ready to pass out. You know, this is where I want to channel my anger and violence into, and this is how I do train. It's just all that anger. It's going in there into the workout. So yeah, I'm trying not to. Try not to be scrapping anymore, but I'm not going to back down from any cocksucker either. What else do we have? Benzos. Yes, I'm chronically addicted to benzos. Benzodiazepines. There's a syndrome, benzodiazepine syndrome withdrawal. Coming off benzos, these nerve pills. Well, you get to put a piece of toilet paper, Kleenex in your pill bottle, and stuff it down so that you don't hear a rattle when you walk around. It's an old trick. But these are, clonazepam ones. But I'm chronically addicted to them. To the point where on my 5th or 6th day, my mother had to drive me to the hospital because I had full-on DTs, delirium tremors, which you get from alcohol withdrawal. Because as benzos act as alcohol. What do they give you from alcohol withdrawal when you go to detox? They give you benzos, nerve pills, Valium, right? So I had a complete, total hallucination, you know, acid trip type of deal from withdrawal from benzos. I mean, this is just shit in a nutshell, you know. But this video is getting kind of long. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, a lot of shit. Being physically abused, sexually abused growing up. You know, getting the shit kicked out of me growing up. Pancreatitis 4 times, where you're 2 week stays in the hospital at a time, no food, just IV. because your pancreas is inflamed, it could rupture. 4 times by 32. I died twice. People think that's bullshit, but they think what they want. I died twice, revived. Chronic alcoholism, shooting cocaine, um, benzo addiction, dependence, physical addiction. Finding my father dead with his head decapitated. You can imagine that. Um, yeah, you wonder why I'm violent and I'm fucked up. It's just a little bit. Everyone has trauma, and their trauma is their trauma. That's what they experience. That's what they know. Um, but when I hear people whine, I'll say, "Fucking mom, you wouldn't last with me," because what I went through and what I can do, what I'm capable of, I'm just fucking retarded. I'm a fucking nut retard motherfucker. But I am putting it into the weights. It's week 6, week 7, and I put on probably it's close to 20 pounds, at that time. So that's what I've done since I've trained. Because I have so much anger, I've just put it into the workouts, and the intensity is unbelievable, and the workouts are so brutal that I'm fucked afterwards. I have to go to bed, seriously, even if it's six at night, and I get up at 2 in the afternoon. I mean, that's just the type of anger that I have. But I'm not going to let anyone slip and fucking disrespect me. I'm not like that. I don't just sit back like a fucking bitch and take shit. Oh, you want to feed me some dog shit? Let me chew that dog shit up. Give me some more of that dog shit. Like, fuck off. I'm not taking that. So I got a couple beefs that I didn't think I had for a while, because I haven't really been on a coke run in what, half a year or something like that. So I haven't had too many run-ins at all, or any at all. But now we're gonna have to, yeah, put the challenge out there when there's not fucking 5 guys to back you up, right? Some guys get cocky, but when you get them alone, it's a different story. So that's it. That's the lesson for the day, motherfuckers. Violence, anger, into the weights, but don't take shit. Put that violence into someone's fucking skull if need be. I won't take shit off anyone. I don't care what fucking anyone has to tell me. Fucking positive thinking, fucking bullshit, any of that shit.